Welcome, everyone, to Progressive Spiritualist Church Sunday service. And, as I should have said, hey, tomorrow's St. Patrick's Day. Where is the green? It's tomorrow. That's all right. It's been St. Patrick's all week. Don't you understand that only in America do we celebrate St. Patrick's Day? But that's because the Irish who came loved this country, but they also loved the old country. So, happy green tomorrow. Our call to worship today, I was reminded by somebody this morning, is our vision. So, people in church here, please look to the wall. Our vision. We are a loving community of spiritualists dedicated to enlightenment, healing, and service to all. And I think sometimes we know that to be true, but sometimes daily life allows us to forget. So this is a nice reminder of what our vision is as spiritualists. Amen. Out of the glory past, till we stand at last, where the white beam of our bright star is cast. All right. Blessed light of love, creation of all. We are here today in unity, love, and reverence. We call upon the light of truth to open our hearts and minds to your presence. May the vibrations of peace and serenity fill this space. We acknowledge the connection between the physical and spiritual worlds, and our desire is to deepen our understanding of this divine relationship. We ask now, in this place and time, that the veil between the worlds be opened, so that we may receive messages and insights from Spirit that will lift us up, encourage us, and instill within us your divine love with the knowledge that life is forever ongoing. Amen.
Thank you. You all may be seated. Thank you to our musicians and our choirs. Give them a hand. Because we're going to talk a little bit about music today. Now, I got to explain something, first of all. Those of you who are new, please buckle your seatbelts. It's going to be a rough and rocky ride. But I asked myself years ago, why do we have to come to church and feel dogma? Why do we have to come to church and not always feel as good as we could? How come? What is the purpose and meaning of a sermon? Suzanne Greer used to say to me, it is to educate, to illuminate, and to entertain. And if you will do those three things, you will get your point across. Understand? All right. You got the first step. So, I don't often talk about my history or my days in spiritualism, but something has slipped, and I want to get back to what I believe happens in a spiritualist world, because there are communities, there are people who literally live these spiritualist lives, and I'll tell you about them in just a minute. Most of you know that I am an overachiever, which can really be a pain in the butt for everybody. But it's my makeup. As a kid, I took toys apart, I took them, put them back together, and frequently I figured, hey, this could be even better. So what would we do with the power of spirit if we had this ability? And that's what I'm going to try to talk to you today, because I don't know that we are really pulling on the abilities that spirit gives us. What do you mean, Mike? 1997, I go into, I'm my teacher. First of all, through the 90s, I had a crazy life. I'm running a radio control racetrack in Pendleton, Indiana. The racetrack is the biggest this side of the Mississippi. On a Tuesday night, we would have 100 guys come in and race radio control cars that would run 60 miles an hour. I was having a great time. Every other night that I wasn't at the racetrack, I was at Camp Chesterfield. One night a week, I worked with the Shirogis, mostly with Shirley, but if Wynn was in town, we worked with Wynn. The rest of the time, I worked with Suzanne, who was a great and glorious medium, who demonstrated to me both the best and the worst that mediumship has to offer. And I give her great credit for all of those things. I walk into class one day, and I'm usually typically a little bit early, helping to get ready for class. I was the protege. That meant I was the cabinet sitter. I was the one who took the money. I was the manager of the event. Okay, so you get the idea. I come in one day, and on the kitchen table are boxes of pastels, different kinds of paper, and Suzanne is just going like a madman. And I go, hi, what are we doing? Spirit told me I'm going to do spirit art. You ever drawn before? Never. Never had an art class in my life. Goes to the hobby store, whatever it was. We didn't have Hobby Lobby back then. She buys all this stuff, all this crap. And that night in class, we are just doing, literally, we are taking broken pieces of pastel, laying them on their side, and making Rorschach tests and going, what does this mean? She stayed with it. In 4 weeks, she was doing this on the platform. Now, good old Mike said, dang! 4 weeks! Now, she worked her butt off. You get my point. So I'm in the choir at Camp Chesterfield. Camp Chesterfield used to have a choir that traveled around, did all kinds of stuff. But mostly we sang secular songs. If you were lucky, you got to sing a Ray Boltz number, maybe Michael Smith, but pretty much it was just heavy church stuff. And it was fun, it was okay. But we were always looking to introduce something new, something a little different. And I said, man, I spend a lot of time in my automobile talking to Spirit. What if I asked them to start doing something for me? Something fun, something completely frivolous. Because up to that point, we had worked very diligently to make that contact, that communication. And I felt like we did a good job. But it was all work, you understand? So what happened? I said to Spirit, let's find something that we can utilize when we take the choir out that might get some younger people, some people interested in what we're doing, and people that maybe are on the fringe who have no idea. So Spirit said, okay, let's take something really easy and let's just rewrite it. Now look, I'm not a musical person. I did my saving grace as I was an announcer. That was my main thing, was when I was at the racetrack, I was the announcer. I did announcing for the Velodrome, Anderson Speedway, which was Sun Valley, all kinds of stuff like that. So I learned to use my diaphragm. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. You're going to see cars like you've never seen before. Just a long smoky burnout. Down I-69. Yeah, we did all those stupid commercials. And you get to learn to use that diaphragm. And in singing, that's the main thing, was use of that diaphragm. So I said to Spirit, let's take something simple, something easy. And at that time, the Simpsons were doing some sort of funny little bit with an album and stuff like that. So I said, Spirit, give me something that I can work with. So Spirit said, how about this? Let me start at the start, then take it away. My name is Michael, but I'm not Michael J. That's M with an I and a K and an E, then M-E-L-L-O-T-T. Introductions aside, let's move right along. You can all sing along at the sound gong. Okay, so you see how it went. That was the first bit. I thought, well, all right, I can work with that. So as Spirit has it, I began to say, now let's see what we can do if we wrote our own song. If we took it and we began to see what Spirit wanted to say and how we could do it in a modern kind of text. And at this time, again, because I've been a theater geek for a long time with Susan, Hamilton was just being formed, and we began to see these bits and pieces of using rap in this kind of mainstream thought, and Spirit just hooked onto this. So I said, okay, write me a song. So we came up with this. You'd like to talk to your Dealy D potted. You're not really sure just how to get it started. All you got to do is just say please. If you don't know, then we're here to please. Okay, starts like that. All right.
Great.
Well, and again, you begin to go, God dang it. Because for me, I've always questioned, what is the limit of spirit? How far can we take this? If we can get a spirit to enter into the body and manifest their thoughts, their opinions, their movements, then can we do other things? So again, I began to explore even farther and farther. And at that time, this became pretty popular because as the choir would set up, everybody was ready for their secular songs, but we'd open up with a couple of these funny little joke things, and people were like, wow. I don't know if any of you know this, but the Blues Brothers, the movie, the whole thing, was never supposed to happen. Here's what happened. Dan, the whole band said, let's go out and just open the crowd to some entertaining, fun stuff. Lorne Michaels said, this isn't funny. It's not going to work. 2 movies later, it worked. But that's my point. They tried something completely different and it worked. So we were doing this and we were having fun. And somebody said to me, God, dog, wouldn't it be great if you could come up with a number that was connected to Camp Chesterfield? 2 days later, Spirit had given me this whole concoction for Chesterfield. And not only does it have Chesterfield in it, it named 4 of the best mediums who were working at that time. Now I'm thinking, I'm pretty impressed. But again, do you see where I'm going? And my main question that I'm asking through all of this is, what are the boundaries? What are the limits that you are putting on your spirit guides and teachers? How far are you willing to let them go? You want to hear the Chesterfield song, don't you? All right, let me have a swig. As far as you know, it's coffee. As far as you know. At the entrance to camp, got a woman named Phyllis doing the thing we call the blindfold billets. Then next door, it's Carolyn T. She'll tell you what you want using astrology. Back across grounds, got a teacher named Shirley. She taught me many things, so I got no need to worry. I know me a reverend, her name is Louise. She's talking to spirit with the greatest of ease. All this has happened at a place called Chesterfield. If you don't stop me now, I'll have to sing another deal. I'm done. There you go. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Hey, yeah, you wrote a song. But again, do you see where I'm going with this? If spirit can do this, if this is the silly stuff that we can do, what could we do if we applied this to cancer? What could we do if we applied this to autism, to ADHD, all of the stuff that's going on in our lives today? And that's one of the things that Spirit and Suzanne and I were allowed to do, was to explore these boundaries and limits. We were the ones who brought cameras into the seance room. Now, everybody, you can't bring a camera in a seance room. Well, you can if you talk to spirit, if you use red light, if you use a special lighting and mechanism. All of that stuff can be done if you have the connection with spirit. All right, so then I began to work with Suzanne. Suzanne says to me, hey, all them funny songs are really great, but I think I need a song. Okay, now I'm writing songs for the mediums. And because she came to me in a way that I wasn't crazy about, I thought, you know, that Cops number is pretty popular. I wonder if we could do anything with that. Ready? Suzanne, Suzanne, what you gonna do? Will it be a trance or a message or two? Suzanne, Suzanne, what you gonna do? Penny is your guide and she works for you. Penny going to come all day. Penny always wanting to stay. Penny got a lot to say. Penny gonna be by your side all day. Suzanne, Suzanne, what you gonna do? Will it be a trance or a message or two? Suzanne, Suzanne, what you gonna do? Penny is your guide and she works for you. Okay. So what? This is my point. I got 5 lines. That's my whole sermon today. This is the gift that Spirit wants to give to us. They want us to be joyful. They want us to see this kind of side of Spirit because I believe that they have so much more to offer us if we just ask. And somewhere along the line, I found the way to take the chains off the box and eventually to remove the box entirely and begin to ask the question, why can't you do some of this stuff? All right, so Suzanne had to have a song. My other teacher had to have a song. And I worked on cars a lot back then. That's how I made my connection at Camp Chesterfield. Not only was I a handyman, but I did repairs. I did a lot of the maintenance around people's houses. I was a necessity, which allowed me to get into places other people wouldn't. So one day I'm driving Pat Kennedy's car. I'd just done shock absorbers, something, I don't remember. And she's got this country tape in the Statler Brothers. Y'all remember Statler Brothers? So she'd been bugging me. Are you gonna write me a song, Mike? Are you gonna write me a song, Mike? Sure, I'll get right on that. At that time, you know, I'm having a hard time remembering 7 songs and then still having to perform and do all this other stuff. So I got this great idea, and Spirit comes to me and they go, well, here's what we got to do. We got to change this. Let's do a country thing. Oh my God, not a country thing. I'm not a country person. I don't even speak country. All right, we'll give it a try. So they came to me and they gave me this whole number, and I'm going to do it for you now. And it goes, sit down, listen up, I'll tell you where it's at. Her name is Kennedy, but I can call her Pat. Got her a joy guide, never going far. She going by the given name of Little Blue Star. She's so hot, she just don't stop. Talking about the girl we all love a lot. Queen Patty K is the one I'm talking about. Didn't write no more, so I guess I have to quit. Patty Kennedy. She's the queen of Camp Chesterfield. Y'all come on down, see Queen Patty K as she works the summer season at Camp Chesterfield and Cathedral of the Wildwood. Spirit's going to be there. You too. Here? How far are you pushing your guides? What are you asking from them? Spirit liked that one so much, they came up with another version. I'll do it real quick. But we got to quit here in a minute. Somebody got some messages to give, don't they? I feel it. See, do you feel that? And part of that is what we're missing in some way, shape, or form. We got to get that communication. We got to get that family feeling. We got to get back to a spiritualism base where everything comes from the Spirit. And what I've tried to do is to show you that I'm not the only one that could do this. Everyone out here has the ability in one way, shape, or form. And the first thing I'm going to ask of you is to remove those blinders. Get rid of the boundaries. Don't think, what are my limitations? Think, how far can I go? And I've said this more than once. Every time I think I've climbed to the top of the mountain, they show me a whole new range. Spirit has so much more to offer than we recognize on a daily basis. And my question is, why are we not asking? So with Pat Kennedy, she had to have a rap number too. Because she would, yeah. I wish I could tell you some of the stories from some of these people. Many of them at one time, shape, or form were presidents of Camp Chesterfield. And because everybody got to at one point. Nobody could do it right, so they just passed it along for a while. hoping that somebody would do it. And just the things that I could tell you would shock you, because they are real people. And that's what we sort of forget, is that sometimes just because you're blessed with the connection with the Holy Spirit, or that entity that works through you, doesn't mean that you're not a normal person with their faults and frailties. And sometimes spiritualism calls it out. I think that's both a glory and a curse, but it helps us to deal with our stuff. And part of the reason that I'm doing this is because I'm dealing with my stuff. Something has been unloaded onto me, and I want to make sure that I'm giving out as much as I possibly can. Why? Because if something should happen to me and other people like me, who would carry the message? Somebody said today, let's do our vision. It took 3 board meetings to get our vision, and 3 different colors before they decided what they want. We're normal human beings. Most of you don't know anything about what this building was. This was a construction company, and there were 12 offices in here. 12 little offices in here. We took them all out, and originally this platform was sitting over here. This platform was originally designed on wheels, and we could move it any place that we wanted. Now, I believe that the wheels are probably still in here, but they're no longer functional. This has now been placed here. But the amount of stuff that we used to do was incredible. People would come in, and one day the church is over here, one day we're now over here, and what was different about us is that we kept pushing the boundaries, because we didn't have any boundaries. And that's what I want you to do. I want you to live with very few boundaries. Would you do me a favor? Give Spirit permission to take you just 1 inch farther, 1 foot farther, 1 yard farther than you've ever gone before, and see what happens. That's what I ask continually of my trance people, is that they push to their limit. And now most of them are starting to get out of their own body and to move into other people's bodies, to move with other people's spirit guides and teachers. And that's the glory of spiritualism, that it gives us this ability to go in different places. And here's what I've found, is that if you will meditate, if you will do the exercises, if you will make the connection, there comes a point where you don't have to do any of that anymore. I don't frequently talk about sitting in meditation because they're talking to me all the time. Frequently, I'm having to say, will you shut up? You can have that too. I've tried to say to people 100 times, I have no more talent. I was never born with the golden spoon in my mouth. I just worked harder. And you can do it too. Has this been fun? Have we learned a little about spirit? Then I've educated. Then I've illuminated. And I've inspired you today to go to a new and different place. So let me leave you with Pat Kennedy's last song, which was the same one, just a different kind of version. And again, for some reason, this whole rap thing is coming up, and we do this a lot. But here's what Spirit has said. Hey, Mike, you just filled 15 minutes. What if we put this into a play? What if we began to write an entire, Story is, 14-year-old boy with autism loses his grandmother. His grandmother is his greatest help in his life. She passes away because he has a vision, and he doesn't pay attention to the vision because he's too focused on his Game Boy. So throughout the rest of the story, he is trying to learn what to do with his psychic abilities so that he could then communicate with this grandmother, and say goodbye because he missed that chance. And Spirit is now incorporating all of these songs and all of my lessons at Camp Chesterfield into a great and glorious story. Now, do you see, could I have imagined sitting in a 1977 Monte Carlo, writing down, let me start at the start, then take it away. Yeah, then what? Then what? That it could go to this. And again, what I'm trying to say to you is I am nothing. I am not a special person. I was never felt that I had any other abilities other than being sensitive, which I felt was used against me my entire life. And I feel like that's one of the problems that we as spiritualists have. We're brought into this life to be spiritual beings, to be sensitive, but then people beat us down because we are so sensitive. We have got to find a way to put on our psychic protection so that we can go off and do these things. I had the ability just a few months ago to New York, and we saw a lot of great and glorious plays on Broadway, and they were great. But the Spirit story is better. I've seen stuff that just, hey, here's 20 songs from the 80s. Put this together. It'll be a great show. And it is. And I'm thinking, this is real life. This is... Do you see where I'm going? I don't even know what the limit of this is, but if I will keep doing my part, Spirit has said to me, we're going to give you some glory that you are not going to believe. And not only will it give the glory to you, but it'll give the glory to Spirit and spiritualism, because there are so many people out there who are floundering, who are thinking that church just ain't for me. They don't understand me. They're not sensitive to my needs. The Bible isn't relative in my life. I understand all these things, but there is a way that we can make this connection, and I hope that what I'm showing you today is that you too can make that glorious connection. I'm going to leave you with the Pat Kennedy song. Sit down, listen up, I'll tell you where it's at. Name is Kennedy, but I can call her Pat. Got her a joy guide, never going far, going by the given name of Little Blue Star. She's so hot, you just don't stop. Talking about the girl talking about the girl we all love a lot. It's Pat, Queen Pat TK. Thank you, you all.
Amazing. Amazing.
I give all glory to Spirit.
Hey.
I ask myself, how do I remember this stuff? I wrote this stuff 20 years ago.
Well,
And I pull it out, and the Spirit just feeds me this information.
well, I would say on a personal note that what I find very fascinating is for quite a long time I have said we have to be doing something that's reaching people. People today, what people want today, not what people wanted 10 years ago, because people today are looking for something different.
Yeah.
So, hey.
All right, so we're looking for somebody to play my part, because a 65-year-old guy rapping just ain't gonna do it.
I don't know. Spirit might have plans for you. All right. On to business. And no comments on the peanut gallery. Announcements. Mr. Rudy? Excuse me, he asked first. Okay. Here is our delightful member of the board, Rudy.
Yay, Rudy!
We're having our first rummage sale that we here at the church. We haven't had one for years, and hopefully, if it's a nice day, it's going to turn into a yard sale out here in front. Everybody going down 54th Street, all the Gladys Kravitzes will stop and see what's going on, and so that's going to be Saturday, May the 17th. And probably from about 9 to 3. So if you're doing spring cleaning, organizing, anything you got around the house except for clothing, unless you have some cool costumes or uniforms or some great shoes, but we're not going to accept clothes. But stuff from every room in the house, including your garage, your storage shed, your front porch, anything you have, bring it in bags and boxes, put it out in the fellowship hall by the coat rack, and I'm getting people to help price stuff, sort it, put categories, and as we get closer to the date, excuse me, I'll get some help to carry tables out and all the boxes. So if you've got any questions, give me a call. Thank you.
Let me just say that if you're interested in helping Rudy, please do so. This is, we are a community, we are a family, and we cannot depend on one person to be totally in charge and do everything. So it's up to all of us to volunteer and to help, okay? That's my lesson for today with you guys. Haas.
Hey everybody, I just want to let you know for the next 2 weeks, I'm doing the class after church service. Today I'm going to introduce you to cards. This is open for everybody. People that, if you're an experienced reader or you've never read cards at all, it's open for everybody. I've got lots of materials. We're gonna do a really fun exercise, so y'all come.
For those who are online, just a reminder in that every Tuesday we have a class, and on March 18th, 25th, and April 1st and 8th, and 22nd, Mike's going to be teaching class. And then we have our Michelle Olier, who will be teaching April 15th and 29th. These are very good teachers, so keep us in mind and go on the church app and see what the calendar is to remind you, okay? Also, bake sale next week, end of month, bake sale. Marcia, sorry, I'm taking Marcia's steam. Come on, Marcia. Substitute.
Well, I'm not Marcia, but I got 2 announcements anyway. One is I'm taking Raise Right orders today. We have an opportunity for free shipping, and we do have enough together to, I am going to put together a physical order, so if there's any Raise Right you would like, there are order forms out there with a few of your possibilities out there. Call me, email me if there's anything you need. The other announcement is that Greg Rowe, the shaman from Alabama, will be here the last week of April. Send me an email if you need a link so you can make an appointment.
Shirley started it off, but everybody got a flyer. The next week is going to be a bake sale. You can bring whatever you need, cookies, cakes, candy, just see whatever you can bring. And if you're not a baker, then you need to be a buyer so we can, because it is a fundraiser. We need some more money. Thank you.
Pixie.
Hello, everyone. I will be leading the spring equinox ceremony next weekend at 10 a.m., so be sure to be there. I'm bringing my crystal singing bowl, so we'll be doing some sound cleansing and setting our intentions for spring.
Pixie,
See you then.
is this in person and Zoom or just in person?
Yeah, instead of the meditation and healing room time, it'll be at 10 a.m., so in here.
Okay,
Okay, so it will be on Zoom.
gotcha.
Thanks, Pixie.
Oh, 23rd, that's next Sunday, yeah, okay. Anybody else? Before I go on to. One last item, there is a meditation class being taught by Don Treadwell. It is Saturday, March 29th. It's basically he's combining 2 sessions into one, so it's from 10 to 10 to 5. It is, if you're interested in certification, it is a certification class, but that's not a you don't have to be on the certification path to take this class. Don's a very excellent teacher. How about another round of applause for our mediums? For Candy and Mike.
I've always wondered the difference between those two.
We did the vision statement. We put that baby up there
did put that
together.
up there.
So it's very interesting you brought that in.
All right. All right. Hey, that spirit says to me, all right, everybody, look at the wall and let's read that out loud. Our vision. We are a loving community of spiritualists dedicated to enlightenment, healing, and service to all. That's who we are. Wonderful. We are going to close today by singing hymn 10, verses 1 through 3, Dwelling in Beulah Land. That is Don Treadwell's favorite song. And please remain standing for the benediction. as we prepare to leave this sacred space, we raise our hearts and minds in gratitude for all that we have received today in our communication with Spirit. It is now time that we ask Spirit to close the veil between the worlds, yet knowing that Spirit is always with us. Also knowing that as we continue in our daily lives, we receive blessings and love from the All, the One, the Universe, from Mother, Father, God, Blessed Light of Love, or whatever sacred name you use for your connection with Spirit. For this knowledge, we are grateful and say thank you. Amen.
I really like your swing version.